up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count out. Wasted people, do your part, play around. Get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's not so it no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is just show my people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. This the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will feel happen and I got blue skies. I love it that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling. WB. Belize, wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is just show my people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will feel happen and I got blue skies. I love it that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place your calling. WB. Get up, make every day count out. Wasted people, do your part, play around. Get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling? It's not so it no matter even if you're at home. Just call in. WB. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling. WB. Be yourself, see yourself. This is just show my people. Belize our hopes up to needless reason. Nobody feel left out. It's the vibe we dealing. Let's find a solution. Yeah. Love, respect, unselfishness and cooperation. That's how we need to build a strong nation. We are the people to make the changes. We are the changes. WB. And all the things that will feel happen and I got blue skies. I love it that people get victimized. Let's work together for better. We got to unite. Belize, yeah. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Another day is here. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. We gotta keep moving, na 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 na. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Everybody gotta put their time in. Wake up, Belize. Wake up, Belize. Voice of opinion and place no calling.
Please welcome to the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes for today, Monday, the 6th of July, 2026, wherever you are this morning, we hope your Monday morning is getting off to a beautiful start. We always hope that that's the case. If not, we hope you have resilience and you're able to just push through. Sometimes mornings, new days, new start of a work week can be challenging, but we know you have the spirit to just work on through it. We're glad you've chosen Creme Radio XTV to start your day. I'm Mose. I'm hosting Belize's premier morning conversation. In case you forgot the name, it's WUB, Wake Up Belize. And whether you're listening to Creme, watching XTV, or you've got us on your apps that you've downloaded to your device, or social media streams, and of course simulcast coverage, we don't care how you get here. We're just glad you're there. Welcome everybody, of course, all the time. We trust that your health's good. That's first and foremost. Your energy is great. Vibration's positive. That means you're charged. You ready? Let's do this. We start off with what we call around here the warm-ups or preliminaries. We're not jumping right into the conversation. We've got to get you sorted out with a bit of news first. And of course, we've got your weather forecast straight from the National Meteorological Service. So you can know whether it's hot, it's dry, it's wet. We'll find out now as we turn to forecaster Catherine Cumberbatch.
Morning, Belize. A moderate, moist and somewhat unstable airflow prevails. The 24-hour forecast for Belize and her coastal waters calls for sunny skies today with cloudy intervals, and high temperatures today are expected to reach 88 degrees Fahrenheit along the coast, 94 inland and 82 over the mountains. Tonight, the skies will be cloudy at times, with low temperatures of 82 along coastal areas to 74 inland and 68 in the higher elevation. Shower activity will be isolated. Then expect a few showers and possible isolated thunderstorms to develop mainly along coastal areas during the afternoon and evening hours. The wind will blow from the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots and the sea state will be choppy. A low tide will occur at 8:26 this morning, a high at 2:10 in the afternoon, a low at 2:42 p.m. and a high at 2:50 a.m. The sun rose at 5:23 this morning and will set at 31 minutes past 6. The moon set at 10:56 a.m. and rise at 11:08 tonight. The outlook for Tuesday and Tuesday night is for cloudy skies at times, and shower activity will be isolated at first, then gradually increasing. In the sargassum forecast, there is a high chance that significant amounts of sargassum could impact northern and central areas of the country during the next few days, resulting in major impacts from those areas. And in the tropical weather outlook, no tropical cyclone formation is expected near or over Belize and her coastal waters during the next 48 hours. And with that, we conclude your morning forecast that was prepared here at the National Meteorological Service.
The first private radio in Belize since 1989. Creme FM presents the news. Informative, accurate, current information, local, regional, and international news, weather and sports. And now, the news.
Now some morning news. Friday night shooting in the Japan area of Ladyville, Belize district claimed the life of a man identified as Shane Vargas, widely known as Shatta P. Initial reports indicate that Vargas was the intended target, but this has yet to be confirmed by police. 20-year-old Kamalota resident Kevon Gabriel lost his life on Saturday morning following a reported freak accident involving a police vehicle while he was being taken into custody. The incident began just before 9 when Bemopan police responded to a domestic dispute on Fidel Castro Street. 25-year-old pregnant woman reported that Gabriel, her boyfriend, had arrived at her home, destroyed several personal belongings in her room, and threatened to kill her. The woman further reported that Gabriel initially fled the scene when law enforcement was called, but returned shortly after to damage additional property in the kitchen and living room before fleeing again. Officers were escorting the woman to the Western Regional Hospital for a medical evaluation when they spotted Gabriel on a road behind Fidel Castro Street. The officer driving reportedly stopped the vehicle, shifted the standard transmission into neutral, engaged the parking brake, and all three officers exited the truck to approach and detain Gabriel. The police vehicle unexpectedly began rolling backward. The truck struck two of the officers, inflicting minor injuries before colliding with Gabriel and trapping him underneath. The vehicle continued backward, pinning Gabriel behind it as it rolled into a nearby ditch. Gabriel was rushed to the Western Regional Hospital, where he was later pronounced dead. Gabriel's family members have since refuted the version of events, claiming Gabriel was intentionally hit by the police mobile. Police continue to investigate. Residents living along the coastal stretch from Belize City to Ladeville reported an influx of sargassum washing ashore over the weekend. The heavy buildup is highly visible along the shoreline and has begun producing a potent, unpleasant odor as it decomposes, causing discomfort for nearby residents. When large quantities of sargassum accumulate on the shore, the resulting decomposition not only impacts the quality of life for coastal residents but can also severely choke marine ecosystems. While the seasonal influx of sargassum is more commonly associated with Belize's offshore keys and southern shores, shifting seasonal winds and ocean currents have redirected the flow towards the Belize City coastline. During the People's United Party's National Party Council held this past weekend in Danguiga, Miss Universe Belize 2025 Isabella Zabané went up to the mic during a contribution segment and advocated for an increase of the government contract thresholds for oversight, which is currently at $10,000. Minister of Blue Economy Honorable Andre Perez was the first to advocate for an increase last month, saying it limits the flow of business. At the MPC, Prime Minister Honorable John Dusenio later commended Bella, who during her reign publicly shared her aspiration to one day become Prime Minister. Dusenio agreed the threshold should be raised, but added that an increase must include proper reporting, oversight, and transparency.
Urge the consideration of a lift of the threshold from 10,000 to a higher number. What matters is value for money, and 10,000 is simply too low for ministries to be allowed to spend. It's micromanaging everybody from the top down to the bottom. We need strong oversight, but 10,000 is too low in this economy. Maybe 30 years ago it was appropriate, but it burdens the office of financial secretaries to be micromanaging all of the ministries. Great leaders are remembered for making hard decisions, so I urge this administration to consider making a hard decision. We are not a party of thieves, we are a party of love, and we are not afraid of any other party or the media propaganda that they will push. Thank you.
I must commend Bella for being very thoughtful and to be brave to make such a recommendation considering what we're going through. But what we're doing at this time, we've been working with the IDB for over a year, coming up with new legislation where we want to set up what we call the Central Procurement Unit. And then the Central Procurement Unit is going to be a portal where all of government contracts and business would have to go through that portal so everybody can see what services the government is going to be needed. And then once the contracts have been approved, it's going to be on that portal so everybody can see what who has been approved these contracts. And you are right. When you're looking at $10,000 in a budget of about $1.8 billion, it's really not a lot in the scheme of things. But there has to be proper reporting. And that is what the problem that we've been facing. So one of the things they're looking at is probably increasing that $10,000 to a higher number. But there's going to be a lot of more reporting, a lot of more oversight, and a lot of more transparency so that people can see what is happening and to ensure that we continue to manage the people's money the way we should.
Team Belize captain Jamie Lee Espejo delivered a stellar individual performance at the second AFRICAVOL Girls U17 Central American Volleyball Championship, taking home 3 individual awards despite a disappointing team finish. Espejo secured the titles of top scorer, best receiver, and second best attacker. The individual honors follow a grueling 5-set battle against Costa Rica for the bronze medal on Saturday evening. In a highly competitive match, Belize surged to a commanding early lead by claiming the first 2 sets, before Costa Rica staged a dramatic comeback to secure the podium spot with a 3-2 victory. The narrow loss placed Belize 4th overall in the final standings, just behind tournament champions Guatemala, silver medalist host Honduras, and 3rd place Costa Rica, while Nicaragua and El Salvador rounded out the 5th and 6th spots. And that brings us to the end of our morning news update. We'll take ourselves a small break, and when we come back on the other side, we're going to be open for the business of conversation. We'll be right back.
Informative, accurate, current information. Krem's newscast. Local, regional, and international news. Weather and sports.
At Atlantic Bank, your convenience is our priority. Our contact center is designed to enhance your banking experience. With a wide range of customer service options, you save time and effort. You can easily call in to block or unblock your debit and credit cards, perform account inquiries, and access detailed card information. Whether you need assistance with online banking, merchant support, or general inquiries, our team is ready to help. For added convenience, if all operators are busy, you can leave your number and an operator will return your call as soon as possible to ensure you receive the support you need. Depending on your transaction type, we may need to verify your identity through a set of security questions. And remember, Atlantic Bank will never request your username or password for Atlantic Online via phone call, text, or email, ensuring your personal information remains safe and secure. Our support team is available Monday to Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. in both English and Spanish. Simply dial 223-1212. This is a dedicated line for our contact center. Atlantic Bank is committed to providing you with exceptional service and the tools you need to manage your finances conveniently and securely. Take full advantage of our easy-to-use contact center services today.
Atlantic Bank. Building the future together.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarter-final winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
right, welcome back. This is WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes, Monday morning. It's the 6th of July, 2026, and we are now open for conversation, which means you get to call in. The number for you to call, you should know it, but in case you don't, listen to it and write it down, because we don't want you to just call one time. We don't want to make it a habit. 280-5848, that is the number for you to link up with us and to participate in the conversation here this Monday morning. This is where we start the week, and we're going to wait for you to jump in and to activate. I think my phone is working, so that's not the problem. You have to call, right? Well, I want to just mention that coming up after our first break, I will be joined by a guest. We have joining us today, Senator for Business, Senator Kevin Herrera. He's going to be dropping in, so we're going to have that conversation going on after the first break, after the 2 cents can break. So we do say to you it's advisable, you want to engage, to jump in early. Earlier is better today, because we had a bit of traffic, as I mentioned, going on. Tell us what's going on with you. We're probably going to spend some time with Senator here, just talking about all that has been going on, of course, with the whole chaos and all the corruption allegations that are going on as it relates to split payments, conflict of interest payments, protocol circumvention, with the whole enrichment, self-enrichment by public figures, and we know that that's really it's actually mushrooming, and it's engulfing the Bisenio administration at this point in time. And of course we have other things that we will talk to the Senator about, so we will wait to hear and engage in that conversation. I don't know, somebody's saying that my phone is not working. I don't know if anybody else is having that particular problem. I don't know, maybe Pacliff can check. That's you guys, right? All right, so the phone is actually working. We don't have a problem. We don't have a problem. All right, so again, the number is 280-5848 if you want to link in this morning. And I don't want to get ahead of the conversation I'm going to be having with Senator Herrera. Obviously, we're going to be looking at a lot of the very current and significant issues going on right now. And I think it would be very important to hear that position. But we have a call. Krem, good morning, WUB. Krem, good morning.
Hey, what's up, my brother?
The great Brick, where you going?
Right, just a man, blessed start the week. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Give thanks.
Yeah. But Mose, I need your help.
Yes, sir.
I'm not pretty good at trying to put this puzzle together. But that the conversation is about surrounding the Ministry of Defense.
Yeah.
And all the names where they call. And I sit down and I tell myself, some of these people, the name what they call Mose, some of these people are qualified people for the position where they hold, right? And they're upstanding, upstanding people who hold great position and who will qualify for it. But my thing is this, Mose. Digging deeper and deeper into this for the past, because the Ministry of Defense Department, the name has been called for what, 2 weeks now?
No,
2 to 3 weeks.
no.
And it's always been a problem, right?
What has always been a problem?
Funds. They are tampering of funds. You know?
So, I think we have to be very specific at what the situation is, and what the public concerns are, as it relates to this mushrooming scandal that has taken place here with the Bisenio administration, in particular, a lot of it going to the Ministry of Defense. So there are certain requirements when it comes to any particular ministry. If it's going to pay out something, there is a threshold of $10,000 where you don't have to go through the procedures with the Ministry of Finance. So you have with that. It's almost like it's almost kind of like for in a layman terms, that like that what they call it, like they got like petty cash. If you run one operation and you're going to petty cash, where you have that for able to deal with miscellaneous, and so that's the cap, right? It's at $10,000, so that you don't have to go and get the approval for that with a whole process, right? So if you come, if like for example, you don't work for whatever ministry and only paint job and only $1,500 job, that not really have to go through no approval process within the Ministry of Finance, right? If that's something more than $10,000, now you in every single ministry now that has to go through the process of approval with the Ministry of Finance. It's a requirement to make sure that you have one control over how government funds are spent, so that it can be monitored. You have oversight and you have control. This is how a business operates. You can't have one, if they just want the business to run, you can't just have that. You have the front desk person or the person who has a supervisor could just go and just start to spend, and you don't have to worry about, making sure that approval is coming from the people who own the business. So this is what you call just, this is a common sense requirement. This is a protection requirement. This is a safeguarding of the public asset, the public monies. It's a normal financial kind of approach, and it's there for a reason. It's not ornamental. It's just good sense protocol. So anything under $10,000 you could free up, because you have to. Ministries have expenditure requirements, what they have to do, right? That is what goes on. What has been going on is that it's not that there is anything wrong with paying a bill that is under $10,000 that you did not go and get approval for. What has sent off the alarm bells, all the alarm bells, all the red flags is that, wait, but hold up. When we check the payments, there is this enormous amount of invoices and payments when go close to $10,000 but don't go over it. So if the contract is $70,000 worth of work, or in this instance, $70,000 worth of vegetables and fruits and things, instead of paying $70,000, which would require the approval process coming out of the Ministry of Finance, which will delay you a bit, obviously, but that's delay for a reason. Instead of doing that, you pay 7 or 8 small payments to stay under the $10,000. So immediately now, this is no longer something that seems natural, something that is just par for the course. It speaks loudly that this is intentional, that you are doing this because you don't want to do the approval process, so you break it down. So that's the one concern. We have to look at all the aspects of this. Now, the other protocol violation here is that when you're doing any among a contract or tendering for certain things, there has to be a process. Now, we have to be honest. Long and short of all the process, the way it works is, for whatever length of time, people are going to try to choose businesses and providers and contractors that they are, friendly, that are supporters, that are friends, whatever. That's the way the system has been functioning. It's not a merit base. It's not, well, Rick, you're my friend, but I can't use you because this person where I don't know has a bigger reputation, has shown greater ability to deliver higher quality than you. You're my friend, I like you, but I'm not a user to do the paint job because this person, whether might not be my friend or might not be my family member, is going to be better at it and is giving me a better price. Now, as the taxpayers, that's what we want and that's what we deserve, that the process be merit-based. But that is wishful thinking in our country. That has not been operational at all. That's not the culture, that's not the tradition. But the problem is that there is still a requirement, and then there's obviously concerns about the fact that these requirements have not been fulfilled at all. The other thing now that comes into play is the obvious concern that when you have now immediate family members of a minister getting a certain volume of the contracts to provide the products or vegetables in this case, it's like, no, this is naked, and that is now also the big violation in the case of the Minister of Defense that has been put on the leave of absence. We now have another minister, because now the numbers are showing that there are significant businesses in the north that have enjoyed the lion's share of providing these services and providing provisions for the Belize Defense Force. And so and similarly, there has been an effort to stay under the $10,000 limit and for it not to have to go through approval. And what that means is anybody that sees that happening, you have to say, well, that can't happen without one reason. If you don't want to have the proper protocol and the approval process, then you don't want to be transparent. That is anti-transparent. And if you're being anti-transparent, then the possibility that this is just massive corruption is significant. That's where we are with this particular matter, to kind of just unpack it. That is the situation that exists right now, and that is what they're examining. It's not that there is something wrong with making a payment that's under $10,000. It's not there is something wrong with buying, because the BDF has to eat. They have to be provided things. It's whether or not, one, we have gotten what we have paid for. Two, if we have been paying far more than we are supposed to pay. 3, why is it that you have circumvented the protocol of getting Ministry of Finance approval by keeping all your payments under $10,000? Just a long list of straight red flags, alarm bells just going off, ding, 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 ding. And that's why we're now we're at this moment where we're at. Have I explained?
I want to say one more thing.
Yeah.
Can that affect the scandal from, like we say, back in the days, or maybe present moment, that where the officers have been complaining with not getting healthy food, they're in a dilapidated building. I mean, there's a lot of scandal.
Well, so I don't know what are the terms of the quote-unquote audit that is being done. But obviously, you are right. There are essential requirements of a proper audit. And it has to determine whether or not, one, that there was actually the products being provided quality that matches the amount of money that was spent. So that's one thing. So you have to determine whether or not, what did the BDF get? You have to determine whether or not they got the amount and the quality. Whether it's the food, whether the boots, whatever, that has to be determined. It has to be determined whether or not the prices that were being charged were high markup as compared to what the real market prices would be for those products. So that is another thing that the audit has to determine. And then, of course, the audit has to determine whether or not the right protocol procedures were used to choose who you will buy these things from. And of course, there is the matter of a concern of having a minister's immediate family getting the contract and getting these services. So those are the things that, quote unquote, an audit has to go in and determine, and has to go and determine exactly what is the nature of the whole under $10,000 split payment process that was being adhered to by both ministers of defense that are now, well, on what is they call leave of absence. So that is the situation.
All right, before I go, I got one small testimony.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but
Mose, I always hear people that talk about it in the streets. I mean, our regular conversation about BWS, but I talk from my own experience, right? I never have a problem to pay my water bill because I was always informed, or I know when to pay my water bill. The last water bill I get, I had to wait for one notification. If they link me up, they send me the bill so I could deal with the bill. Fine, the bill don't come. Most these people, I don't know the word, audacity or disrespectful, to cut me out, right, for $7 and change. Fine, I don't got a problem with that because that's how they do their thing, how the system set up. I was usually then inform you. They may go so far of putting these fancy little paper pamphlet by your door and make you know that you got 24 hours to deal with your bill regardless.
Don't they send you WhatsApp messages or emails like?
Nothing.
Oh.
But I didn't benefit of the doubt because they don't have my direct information to do that. But the people I deal with, they have their direct information and they may inform me anyway.
How come they don't have a phone number or email for you? Like, that's standard.
That was another story where, yeah.
Okay, sir.
But the thing will burn me.
So it sounds like that your fault?
No, the thing will burn me.
Oh.
Fine. So make I go deal with bill.
So where the thing will burn you?
They tell me $25 reconnection. The reconnection are more than the bill.
Okay.
Mose. BWF, not for the Belizean people.
Yes.
So why is it so complicated and make it look like what Mose, I will tell you outright, I don't hold back. This remind me of when I was selling weed. Right? If the time comes for bringing no money for the weed in your shop, you can't re-up. You care what? You care the fight, you can't re-up. If you won't fight, you can't re-up. It's a outright public hustling modes for people.
Okay, so let me be devil's advocate. Meaning that I want to look upon it from BWS standpoint. Who do use the water? You, right?
Yeah.
Right. And you had a technical problem, and I don't have no judgment. I've been cut out multiple times. And nobody wants to pay the reconnection fee. But the reconnecting you or the disconnecting you requires manpower, doesn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So it is a cost to the company to have to go through the process of connecting and reconnecting, right? Doesn't matter what the size of the bill is. The manpower required to do the connecting and the reconnecting is going to be standard. You know, not because your bill is only $7 means that, well, it's going to be easier for them to reconnect you. Somebody have to go do the process, go deal with the meter and reconnect you, right? Yes, no.
I hear you, but
so what I'm saying, I'm just taking it from the side of the company. I'm just looking at that position, right? It's like obviously you would have say, you know, that only $7, and you would have think that they would have been more reasonable, not be so stiff, rigid like that $7. While you email or message, which I think they normally do. There seems to be a problem with that, but let's say you are still not able to pay on time, and they have to come now and disconnect you. A secondary part of having that reconnection fee is that they're trying to make sure that there is, you would say, a high degree of people paying their bills on time, because even though that's a we company, we don't want to go bankrupt, right? So it's important for the bills to be paid because there's a cost, and unfortunately we tend to be better when we have consequences. And I am sure now that you had to pay the $25, it is going to be less likely that you will make this happen to you again. I mean, yes, no, maybe so. Will I ask you if you would have to pay $25 again in the day?
That's communication, brother. That's communication, because the first one happened to me, the communication was good. But I actually didn't know how they don't do it. The whole system, how they do it later. Well, they change it. I tell them that new system doesn't work.
I think the $25 thing, I could understand why you're frustrated over paying $25 for a $7 bill, but it's still amongst the same effort to have to reconnect you. And obviously we would want to be in a situation where there is a level of leniency. If we have paid our bills like all the time on time, and then we had this one mix up, you would hope that they would have tiers to customers and you'll get some benefit for being a good customer. Like that's something that they could think about. Obviously you would think that it would be good for them to have some policy, some tier when it comes to people who are under a certain amount of money. That's something that they can think about. Something they can think about.
Well, listen to me, Mose. The point is, I hear what you say. Don't get me wrong. I hear you. But for me, that's not a big deal. I deal with it. I have to deal with it. and I need to deal with it. But when I say, imagine, so people tell me you cut off for 4 cents, 1 cent, 25 cents.
How you only use 4 cents worth of water, but?
No. I tell you because some people with that say you have your bill that $30.95. You say, well, Bama, pay me $30 but 95 cents.
Oh.
I left the 95 cents.
And that 95 cents cause them forget, that tight.
Nobody tell us this, the way I say it, when I got deal with my bill and I hear people talk about it and I'm like, but this is frustrate people.
Brick, I gonna guess, so I have to go. Brick, I gonna guess, so I have to cut you. I have to go to 2 cents scam. I have one guest coming up, so thanks for the call. We go to 2 cents scam, we'll be back.
You're watching WUB and this is XTV, big up to 4-point security, mental health. You know, they see every day. You know, see how people walk in a restaurant, sick of mental health. You know, see how people live on the street, sick of mental health. You know, see how they senior citizen, then they cry out for their pension, mental health. When you see how they get to youth, then they fight up and war against each other, mental health. When you see young ladies, they have babies, and mothers, they putting it out, mental health. It come from all corners. Tell them, make you ready press. Make we find all the people in the department. What are some of the challenges on the face when it comes to mental health?
Most our members at the family, first of all, this is a welcome resource center, and it's also collaborating with the port clinic. The interaction we have with our members is that we call them our members, and they are also our family. Because we try to treat them like family, because most of the time these people don't get the love or the time. There doesn't really be the time to listen to them to explain, how they feel for the day. But our job here is to try to make them as comfortable as we could. By first of it in the morning, we make sure they take a bath, make sure that they get attended if they need attended to the nurse, that they have or the doctor who's over here. We send them across to the clinic. They have a fresh meal every day. They have to take a bath every day. If they have a problem, they can come and talk to us. We would try and work out with them as much as we can, when we can, and how far we can help them. But most of the time, these people need help by someone, a one-on-one. A one-on-one would be good, because today could be me and tomorrow could be you. So the thing that I am really and always advocating for is to make sure that the government also do their part, because it's not only, it's all of us, like a village raising a child when you have a mental person to deal with, because they want attention, they want it to be heard, they want time with you, and sometimes it's not easy because the parents or the family members will have to work. They get medication, some of them resist the medication, some of them just don't want it, some of them take it. If the nurse find them on the street, they give it to them. Most of our members takes their shots, takes their their pills to time, and they make sure that we as calm as they could. We do not have violence in here. No. We do not allow violence in here. Challenge like this one.
Every great job starts at Brothers Habet, with the best supplies and the right support, including free delivery on site, so you can focus on the job. Brothers Habet, working with contractors since 1983.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time, they were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
El evento de fútbol más grande del mundo por fin llegó y Smart te invita a vivir toda la emoción del mundial. Antes de que empiece cada partido, predice quién se lleva la victoria. Entre más predicciones hagas, más oportunidades acumulas. Suma un punto cuando le aciertes al equipo ganador y si le atinas al marcador exacto, obtienes hasta 4 puntos. La persona con más puntos al terminar el mundial se lleva $2,500 en efectivo. Y eso no es todo. También habrá premios semanales durante toda la competencia. Además, el líder de los cuartos de final se lleva un paquete completo para armar su Watch Party. Participa directamente desde la app de Smart por solo 50 centavos por participación. Las predicciones estarán disponibles del 1 de junio al 18 de julio del 2026. No solo veas el mundial, vívelo con Smart. Smart, bring people together.
Formative years, children develop cognitive skills, social skills, emotional, language, and physical skills that serves as a foundation for lifelong learning, serves as a foundation for future success.
These investments create a nurturing environment that promotes school readiness and ensures that children in Santa Cruz and surrounding communities have access to quality early childhood education in a setting that is safe, welcoming, and developmentally appropriate.
The facility features a spacious classroom area, kitchenette, child-friendly sanitary facilities, dedicated amenities for teachers, and secure storage spaces to support effective teaching and learning.
This facility is a testament to the results achieved when government, development partners, and communities work together towards a shared vision, building a brighter future for the children of Belize.
Belize is growing, and as our nation grows, so does the demand for electricity and new energy solutions. More homes, more businesses, more opportunities. BEL continues to strengthen the system that supports this growth, reinforcing infrastructure and solidifying capacity, preparing for what's ahead, ensuring reliable service for homes, for businesses, and for communities across Belize. Keeping the lights on every single day. Belize Electricity Limited. Prepared for growth, prepared for Belize.
Catu's Trucking is the one place that can handle all your concrete mix needs. 50-pound sandbags, white sand, sand and gravel, river sand, black dirt, clay and landfill, washed white sand, concrete mix and limestone. We also do land clearing, road construction, and excavation. For all your building and home projects, visit us at mile 14 on the Philip Golson Highway. Call or WhatsApp at 673-1118, 671-9199, or 661-5863. We're open Mondays to Saturdays. Our prices are so good you can't get a better deal anywhere. Catu's Trucking, where we do things right.
Are you looking for financing on equipment, machinery, vehicles, parts, or tools for you or your business? Banquip and Belize Bank have partnered to make purchasing easier than ever with Belize Bank's convenient online loan application platform. Simply apply online, get fast and secure financing, and access the equipment or vehicle you need to keep moving forward. Even better, use the promo code when applying and enjoy a special promotional interest rate exclusively for Banquip customers. Whether you're upgrading your fleet, investing in new machinery, or purchasing essential parts and equipment, now is the perfect time to make it happen. Visit Banquip today and ask about Belize Bank online loan financing.
You're up against some tough challenges, but not all heavy-duty lubricants can handle the pressure. Until now, introducing Ridgeline Lubricants, a homegrown solution engineered right here to solve the hurdles you face every day. Backed by experts who understand the ups and downs of where you're operating and what's at stake. Specially formulated to protect your equipment so you can push past grueling hours, heavy loads, and harsh conditions to reach for greater productivity. Ridgeline Lubricants. Long live your equipment.
right, welcome back to the WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde here in the house, and as promised, we have a guest on a Monday morning, which is a rare thing. Mondays we usually not have guests, so the guests have to be well credentialed for getting a slot on Monday morning, and you are, sir, well credentialed. We have with us Senator for Business, Kevin Herrera, in the house this morning. This is was here like maybe about 4 or 5 months ago. Or?
Yeah.
All right. It's good having you.
Around the budget time.
Yeah. So, Senator, thanks for accepting the invite, and I guess there's a lot going on. You've been watching it. Obviously, I will just ask you to comment on the saga of split payments, ministers of defense on leave of absence, and what is your big picture view of where the Bisenio administration finds itself with this scandal?
You know, Moses, to me, what we're looking at is are a lot of symptoms.
Okay.
Symptoms of a broken system. And what we're also seeing is the evidence of a lack of will to fix what has been broken for so long. I've said many times that administrations come and go, but there's very little interest in the administration of government. And that then would include fixing the controls, safeguarding the people's money, which I believe is sacred since it comes from taxpayers. And as you know, when taxpayers are required to pay, it's mandatory. It's not something that is optional. And I believe that because of that, there's a very high level of commitment that government should have to ensure that the people's taxpayers' money are well spent, that value is gotten for every cent that is spent, every cent that is utilized. I have not seen that type of care or that type of concern about taxpayers' dollars. And so what we're seeing in terms of the Mira scandal is they found a loophole in the system, and they went for they avoided the type of scrutiny that would have been required if it had gone over $10,000. The larger question in my mind is, how big is that? I mean, how pervasive in the system is that? And that's something that I'm hoping that the Auditor General will be able to tell us based on her audit, if she is doing one. We haven't spoken to her, but it's very, very concerning. And whether or not the people are put on leave, to me, the larger issue right now is that we have massive loopholes in that system. And it's not just that a loophole is in the system, it's why those loopholes are in the system. The financial, all government payments are regulated by, they're regulated by some documents. One, you have the financial orders. Those are compiled in 1957, I believe. And that's why I say when administrations have shown no interest in the administration.
So the present financial orders are, its date of birth is 1957.
1956, between 1956, 57 or 58, one of those years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's old as hell.
Yes, older than most of us.
But older than me, bro.
Yeah, by far. And me too.
So, and amendments over the years?
No.
None.
At that time.
So this $10,000 threshold is as old as that?
I'm not sure. Okay. That may have come from the Finance and Audit Reform Act.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that. But to me, the threshold is there for a reason. You
Right.
know, it's saying that, guys, significant payments because you have budgeting process and somebody has to manage that system. If you spend over this, perhaps somebody should scrutinize it to make sure that it's aligning with what the budget looks like. And so when I hear
basic fundamentals.
yeah, man, basic. I mean, what you're doing is it's a control.
Yeah.
You know, it's a control so that the financial secretary or those who are there to make sure that we're complying to the budget has some control over that process. So it doesn't go haywire. Now, when I hear certain individuals saying that it should be raised 10, it's too small. But to me, that is not the point. You're missing the point completely.
Yeah.
Is that it doesn't matter if it does $100,000 or $10,000. The thing is with it is, it's set in there for scrutiny and for those who control the budget process to have some degree of influence over how that money is spent and some approval process. Is that, remember, government is not a private business, and so you don't have the owner right there making sure that things are spent properly, and so you have public officers who are to ensure that taxpayers' money is taken care of. And so, in a nutshell, I think that it goes right back down to the point of we've really dropped the ball on this one. Government has really dropped the ball, and everyone in a certain extent. I mean, listen, for about 20 years now, we've been calling for our review of those financial orders. Then you have the stores orders as well, and nothing has been done. Nothing, and they're still talking about it. I think I heard them recently on the news that they said that those will be updated, but why did they take this?
Yeah, you speak to the describing it a broken system, all broken system, and even an advanced updated system still requires the human element to act appropriately. There's never going to be a system design that does not have a level of dependency on the professionals to be professionals of integrity and to make sure that if red flags are observed, if alarm bells go off, that there is an immediate response. So last week I said, listen, from everything as how this is unfolded, because people were saying, well, man, speaking about Minister Mira, if he had just left so and so and never get involved with that, well, this, to me, when I hear, I'm speaking about neutrals, not even people who are saying this out loud to say, man, that was his big mistake. I'm like, no. Something is extremely wrong that's what we have to depend on. A minister going kind of berserk for a while and then provoking somebody to get disgruntled and kind of put something out, for me, is like, that is, when we speak about a broken system, that is what is wrong. You are much better business manager, successful business manager. You understand these processes much better than I do. But it would seem like to me that something is completely absent here, that there is no alarm bell that went off. It's like it's the equivalent of having smoke detectors in your house, and you get up and every room is on fire, but there's no alarm, no detector making a sound.
I'm glad you made that point, right? Is just recently the Senate passed the Internal Audit Act. Internal auditors, that's exactly what they should be doing. And I understand that there has been one.
So within respect ministry.
Well, yes, but there's one in Ministry of Finance, I understand, and that's exactly what they should be doing. They don't audit at the end of the year; they audit throughout, and they go in there and they test transactions and multiple structured, repetitive transactions should have drawn all the red flags in an internal audit. and they should have picked that up immediately. And so this is what I'm saying, is that so many things are lacking in those systems. Why hasn't there been an internal audit function in those ministries throughout? If you know that this type of thing happens, they would pick that up immediately. If something is happening that should not be happening in any of those ministries, that's what an internal auditor does. And throughout these conversations that I've been hearing about, the mirror scandal.
Mirror Marine.
Yes, it has been extended, but still relatively in the Ministry of National Security and Defense, Home Affairs and Defense, I believe. But similarly, is that an internal auditor checking the controls that they are working should have picked that up.
So the smoke detectors failed. The system which is broken. So what is your evaluation of what has been the response, which seems to be primarily of the administration's own design and preference? There is no collaborative. You have some press releases, but there's not been the whole. It doesn't feel like to me that the fire department to remain aligned with their analogy. I don't get a sense that the fire engines have pulled up.
Yeah, no, but that's not the intention, I believe.
So what is ultimately would be required that would be appropriate? What all steps, what all agencies, what is the extent of the evaluation? Are we looking at, as well as public officials being brought into question with their performance? Like, what are we looking at here that would be appropriate in your mind?
I think the response, I believe, and responses now and in the past, a lot of those responses have been political survival and waiting the noise out. I believe that when this type of thing happens, the response have to be significant. People cannot leave it alone, and we have to make sure that it's not just waiting us out, but there are real consequences for when people violate any of the trust that is in Cylinder. And I'm not at all suggesting that because the investigation has not taken place yet, so I'm not suggesting that anything was done intentionally by Minister Miro or anybody, but all I'm saying is that there should be a proper investigation. And if it is found that anything was done to enrich himself or his family or whatever, then certainly that is a major violation of trust in the system. And I think that in that case, they should be held fully to account for that type of thing. Whether or not we have the laws that could punish people appropriately for that thing is something that I guess we have to test. And if it's not, then we have to come up with some legislation to do it. But certainly, you cannot have people come in and fleece the system and think that it's okay, because we'll just have a repetition of this over and over and over. And the thing is with it is, if we don't try to make these systems clean, and I think we've almost come to accept that this is what we have and it's okay. But I really believe that when you go out there and you intermingle with the public, and you see the amount of needs that are out there. When you talk to the teachers and they tell you what the kids are facing in these schools, the conditions under which they have to teach, the lack of resources, it really irks you and gets you upset when you have persons in that system who should make sure that the resources are flowing to those areas the way it should. I mean, look at the BDF. How many times have I spoken to persons in the army and they said, and because of me being in the Senate, they'll say, please speak on this because we don't have so and so and so in. I mean, they seem to live in dire conditions out there when they have to be out in the jungle or in training or those areas. It's extremely disheartening, I believe, that we're not trying to get the most value for the money we're spending in those ministries.
Fundamentally as citizens, the point that you've just described is a very important and sensitive one, is that you do not want a nation where civilian leadership is violating its trained human resource for protection and defense. Like that's a recipe for danger, right? No, I'm looking at the appropriate response, and I'm always nauseated when I hear people say we need independent investigation, because I find it to be just like, what are we talking about? We have not designed, equipped a vehicle for independent investigation.
No.
We've not. I see an attempt is being made to activate the Integrity Commission, and for a long time I have complained that no government has budgeted for the equipping of the Integrity Commission with the functioning human resource that is prescribed for within the Act. So it's like it's the equivalent of saying that we have a police department, but you know what, we won't have any detectives, and we won't have any vehicles. Do you really have a police department?
It's handicapping them.
Yeah.
You're doing it and putting the right things on paper, but in practical terms, it's not there.
How does the Senate, what as presently enabled by legislation? You know, I'm not a fan of the Senate inquiry, not because I have a problem with...
Yes, I heard some of your...
I'm not a fan of it. I think what frustrates me the most about it is, at the very least, I would think that every time we have employed it, we would have seen where it has shortcomings, and we would go back to the drawing board and fix it. And I think we have shown just a disinterest in doing that. So that's a part of the frustration there. But as presently enabled, how does the Senate, or what have you been having discussions with your colleagues as to how you guys can put yourself into what's going on with this?
Yeah, you know, we've had some discussions. I think, you know, some of us were also traveling, and so I think that actually, but I think the general feeling is that quite a bit can and should be done through the JPAC, the Joint Public Accounts Committee, because, as you know, we interact very closely with the Auditor General, the Accountant General, and those persons in the Ministry of Finance. And so the JPAC can call any of those officials for hearings, to discuss, you know, whatever is happening inside, and make recommendations and you know, certain requests and things to get done. Also, but that has to be called by the chairman, and the chairman has not called a meeting yet. That committee is chaired by the Honorable Godwin Halak.
From the opposition?
Yes, from the opposition. And so I believe that he should, and possibly should have called a meeting already, you know, to look at this situation.
Okay, but
I mean, it's the only committee in government that is chaired by the opposition, and then because of the amendment that was that was done a couple of years ago, you don't really need the government side in those meetings for it to have a quorum. So there are really no excuses not to have a JPAC meeting now, because the social partners are there, and so we make up the numbers.
Okay, so let's say that the chair maybe is, more operating within what the opposition efforts are, and it's kind of like not activated. As citizens, we have to say, but you guys can, if it is that maybe he's missing it, you guys have to be on the record to say we would like to have a meeting. Like,
yes, and we have.
So you have requested the meeting.
Yes, but like I said, some of us were traveling, and so.
Okay. Has there been a response to the request?
I haven't gotten a direct one from him. I don't know if other members have. But let's see. I mean, hopefully something is done. But just to make the point is, I do believe that the Joint Public Accounts Committee should be able to zero in on this matter, have the hearing, and so that the public gets the type of information that it needs. Even if after this audit, it's sent to the Parliament and it's laid on the table, and so we can have a hearing so that the entire country hears what took place. Once
do you have the power to summon?
Yes.
So speak to me about the committees so that we can all be enlightened here. So this committee has the power to summon all the principals.
Any public officer, I believe, in the Ministry of Finance. In the Ministry of Finance.
Can you summon ministers?
I believe we can. I know certainly in the Senate, Select Committee, we can summon anybody, including the Prime Minister. The Joint Public Accounts Committee.
Has that ever happened before? I think we've only summoned the previous Prime Minister, no?
Yes.
But you've never summoned
not a sitting. No. But you've gone around. We've really summoned the people who are responsible for finance directly in here, and so. In the recent case that we did, you had a Minister of State in Finance, and that's the person who was responsible for the day-to-day and doing the day-to-day finance. And so he was the one who we had summoned. And of course, we had some issues with the cooperation overall in terms of some of the participation. And I share your concern with respect to the Senate committee. I think we've all seen, and I think it was a good thing that the country was able to see all the weaknesses in that system. I mean, I think it's something that you could do a lot with, but it really needs a lot of straightening. I mean, you can't have persons decide that they'll testify or not and walk out and just thumb their nose at the whole process like that, or actively undermine the process the way we saw in this last one. I think that was unfortunate, and certainly I think something that we should work on in terms of trying to fix.
So, in your estimation, what has been presently proposed as the kind of accountability response is woefully inadequate, and is more about political management.
This whole system is rigged,
Okay.
And it's rigged in a massive way. So you have all these oversight bodies, right? For most of them, maybe with the exception of the JPAC, which is designated by law, and then but all these oversight bodies, the members are all appointed by the Prime Minister or whoever's in power, and who do they normally choose? People who are, who they feel comfortable with, I should say. No, I'm not saying that some of these people don't go in there with integrity, but I'm saying, once you have that weakness, the politicians are politicians, and they will appoint people who they feel, won't be too tough on them.
So it should come as no surprise when we get these kind of symptoms. Like, this is what the system, this is the law of physics here. What goes up comes down. This is, you can't beat that. If the system is designed this way, it is rigged. These are the results.
Yeah, I mean,
regardless of administrations, we see it over and over and over and over. But I think it's important for the better, I think, everyday people understand what is in the tool chest at a time like this, which I can tell you, I can't even, as a talk show host, I struggle to find things in the tool chest to match what is happening. Like you essentially have to use a crowbar with hammer kind of scenario. But if you're looking at what's in the tool chest, and we're saying that JPAC. So who are the members of JPAC? Just so listeners.
Yeah. So JPAC has 2 members from the opposition, 3 members from the social partners, and I believe 4 members from the government side. And so that is JPAC, and those would be members. The opposition and government reps are from the House, and the social partners, of course, are from the Senate.
And so the majority is still
the majority. The social partners and the opposition have the majority.
And so you have the power to say what? If you bring in people, and you have the power to summon people and get evidence, and you go through it and you hear what you're able to get them to have to speak. Is it on the oath?
Well, it's expected that we don't have them swear at JPAC, like what you do in the Senate. But generally, JPAC concentrates on expenditures and how the budget is being spent.
Right.
And so that is really a monitoring mechanism.
So this is
strictly finance.
So this is your thing right here.
Yes.
This is not your, but this is JPAC.
Yes.
This is number 1 tool for this.
Yes.
And it's not been activated as yet.
JPAC is meeting.
Okay.
But not for this purpose.
Not for this.
Yes, not for this.
And so just to understand, they get to bring in people, get to the bottom of this, and then say what are its power of declaring conclusions and then effecting consequences as a result.
Well, we can't effect consequences. What we would do is make recommendations and say this is what we found. This is what should be fixed. We could, like I said, summon the Auditor General, the Accountant General, and say, why wasn't this done? And really have a public hearing on it. And we've had many of these in the past. That is online, and people could follow.
But I hear that. But I guess what we're looking at is to say, who bells the cat? Who does it have the power to say, hey, Mose Hyde, we have found that you have acted in a way that is not consistent with what is legally required of you. You have violated A, B, C, D, and we are recommending that
yes, you can do that.
You.
You can do that. Yes.
And if it's more grave than that?
But we don't have administrative power. I mean, so that's why it has to be sent to the executive for them to effect.
Okay.
But we can say, hey, Mose Hyde, these are the consequences, and this is what happens to you.
Red card for Mose Hyde, but we can't take out of the game.
But I mean, and this is where the public and these institutions need to work, and the media and everybody, have to work together, because once those recommendations are made and they're put out there, then the pressure should be on. I mean, that's really how these systems should work. A lot of times these things get lost and you don't have that follow through. But that's basically how it should work. The pressure in the system should force the politicians to act. I'll give you an example. Take the example of the Starmer in the UK and the scandal that he was involved with. I mean, he wasn't directly involved with Epstein and so, but he appointed someone who had some links, and the British public just wouldn't let it go. And eventually, I mean, then he lost the support of his cabinet and his backbenchers, and he had to go. And that's how these systems should work. Because remember, ours is modeled after the British. Now we haven't reached that level where you hold that type of high degree of accountability. But that's basically how it should work. The pressure should force action on those involved.
Well, at some critical points, we we have the, what you'd say, but we have a call. Krem, good morning, WB.
Good morning, Mose and Mr. Herrera. This is Sandra Coy.
Good morning, Ms. Coy. How are you?
On how you're going to do what you all are suggesting to change this system and compare it with the British system, when the British system does not have a written constitution. It's not written in black and white on paper, and the one we have that's written on paper says that Elizabeth Regina or Charles Rex cannot be inquired into. The monarch cannot be inquired into. Our constitution states that. And nobody acting for the monarch can be inquired into either. So, to get what we want, we can't use the British as the reference point because they don't have it written in stone or in paper or whatever name you want to give it. They don't have a written constitution. So they are able to change customs and morals as they go along. We can't because we have it written on this paper. And what we have written on this paper is what the British practiced 500-600 years ago. They are not practicing it now. Do you see the contradiction, Mose and Sarah? There's a profound contradiction. You can't get the kind of society we want to start with because the paper that we have, the document that we have.
I would put in, and it's what I was going to put to Senator Herrera, is we have this appearance of similarity, but we have
exactly, but we don't have a
but something as simple as the fact that we can't, an elected member of the House can't vote against his government.
Exactly.
So at critical points, we have altered the framework to ensure that.
Look at what happened with Prince Andrew. They threw him under the bus and to the dogs. This never happened before, but it happened because their system is not rigid. We have a rigidly antiquated system. And unless we make up our minds, one, that we are going to modernize what we want and what we are going to modernize, yes, we only look alike. We are not alike at all. Bye-bye.
All right, we've let your thoughts and Ms. Corey comments when we come back from break. Sure. I have to go to break. Senator Kevin Herrera, our guest this morning on the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes.
Formative years, children develop cognitive skills, social skills, emotional, language, and physical skills that serves as a foundation for lifelong learning, serves as a foundation for future success.
These investments create a nurturing environment that promotes school readiness and ensures that children in Santa Cruz and surrounding communities have access to quality early childhood education in a setting that is safe, welcoming, and developmentally appropriate.
The facility features a spacious classroom area, kitchenette, child-friendly sanitary facilities, dedicated amenities for teachers, and secure storage spaces to support effective teaching and learning.
This facility is a testament to the results achieved when government, development partners, and communities work together towards a shared vision, building a brighter future for the children of Belize.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
So, do you think we got a deal?
No one should be up at this time. If you're still up, it's not you. It's your mattress. Because the right mattress changes everything. Sherwood Bedding Luxury Resort Pillow Top Mattress. Sleep better, wake better. Available at Design Depot. All in one place.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time. They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that, for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together. Have a vision? We've got what you need. From idea to install, Brothers Habet, all your building needs under one roof.
The biggest football event in the world is finally here, and Smart is giving you the chance to play and win. Before every match starts, predict who will win. The more predictions you make, the more chances you have to win. Get 1 point towards your total when you guess the winning team. Predict the exact score and earn up to 4 points. The top scorer at the conclusion of the World Cup wins the grand prize of $2,500 in cash. That's not all. Players get a chance to win weekly prizes. Plus, our quarterfinal winner gets a watch party package. Play directly in the Smart app for just 50 cents per entry. Prediction starts June 1st to July 18, 2026. Don't just watch the World Cup. Play along and win with Smart. Smart, bringing people together.
WB Wake Up Believes Morning Vibes. Mose Hyde in the studios, joined today by Senator Kevin Herrera, his capacity as being, as well as a senator, a member of JPAC. We have a call coming in here, Senator. So let me just take the call. Krem, good morning.
Good morning, Brother Mose.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
I'm listening to you guys. I've heard that the system has been broken for so many years.
1 second.
As well as there haven't been an upgrade. Now my point is that this will continue and continue and continue unless we have an elected Senate, not an appointed Senate. So we are going back to only foolish dogs bark at flying birds. And we will continue in that manner if we do not have an elected Senate. Because we have seen members of the House of Representatives being summoned. Some said they could not recall. Others show up like Jim Jones and other characters to the House, the Honorable House, and walk right out while the Speaker is asking him question and he just walk out. And I know, Senator Herrera, you had mentioned that you all have the authority to summon, but it's like having a dog barking and not biting. Thank you.
All right. You want to 1 second, Senator, you want to respond to that?
Yeah, I think the point with the elected Senate, this is a debate and a discussion that has been happening for a while. One of the concerns I've always had with an elected Senate is not with the concept in terms of how it should work, but I really feel like if we get to an elected Senate, what it means is that persons will have to go there and campaign. You'd have to raise money. There'd be a dependence on raising money, and where is the most likely place to raise money? With these political parties that are organized in that manner already. And I've always felt that I think if you go down that road, you run a very high risk of the political parties hijacking that entire process.
Okay.
Unless someone can convince me otherwise. But I mean the backbenchers are elected, and they're supposed to, hold a lot the persons in the executive to account. And I know that there has been some changes with respect to that structure, but that was the whole concept behind it, to hold those in the executive accountable. That has not happened, has never happened in our entire history.
A significant majority of the ruling party becomes a part of the cabinet. So.
Well, that's what I'm saying, that they've modified it so that it doesn't work anymore, but I'm saying that was the whole concept behind it.
Let me take this call. Sister Yaya, I believe, is online. Sister Yaya, good morning.
Morning, Mose. Morning, I'm Kevin.
Hi,
the real is that the Westminster system was never designed for us, and it will never work for we. So we really have to look on the root cause of the challenges we're faced with. And unless you really have people of character and really open-minded and want the liberation of people, which seldom happen in our capitalist system, patriarchal, white supremacist, imperialist system, sometimes I feel like the conversations are kind of just talking points, right? A Mandela headline from Wednesday, February 16, 2022 said, "Is JPAC another dud?" Now, I did ask, they reformed the Public Accounts Committee to the Joint Public Accounts Committee, JPAC, June 30th, 2021, over 5 years ago. I did ask you, brother, has the Public Accounts Committee or JPAC ever fulfilled their mandate to the best of your knowledge? From the time it was conceived, to your knowledge, has it ever done what is required to do. And according to AI, JPAC will exercise parliamentary oversight over government spending and ensure the efficient and transparent use of public funds. If the check and balance, scrutinize annual finance account, the appropriation of funds, and official Auditor General report. Has JPAC ever done its mandate to its fullness, to your knowledge?
Yeah. Good question, Yaya. No, but there's a reason. We've been meeting and reviewing reports. The problem is when that legislation was changed and it include the social partners, senators on that committee, the audits, the national audits of the country were 10 years back. Right now, we're probably 8-9 years back, but that has been the problem, that the JPAC is supposed to review these annual reports. The thing is, with the Accountant General has never been caught up with respect to the accounts, so that the Auditor General then would be able to audit all those statements. Those statements would then come to the JPAC. The JPAC would review them and report about how the compliance to the budget and public spending. But it has mainly been because of the backlog with respect to the accounts and the audits why JPAC has not been up to date with respect to its reporting. And this is something that is inexcusable. I mean, you've noted that we've had several hearings with the Auditor General, with the Accountant General, with respect to why it's been taking so long. They've committed to catch up within a certain period of time, but still it's a real backlog within that system. And the thing is with it, and I'm really glad you raised this point. It's not only auditing, but a lot of the source documents are not there. So even when these audits are completed, they're almost useless from a reliability standpoint, because a lot of times they can't find the source documents for the transactions. And because of that type of scope limitations, because of not getting the type of information they need in many of these areas, the Auditor General then would be compelled to do a disclaimer on the financial statements. And a disclaimer simply says that you can't rely on the information in the statements, because there are significant omissions and significant problems and issues with respect to verifying the information on those statements.
So my point is, because this time all firewood, the fire for me, and I recognize and give thanks to the former Auditor General, Mrs. Dorothy Bradley, for the exemplary work, and for me, she always be the best Auditor General ever. The Supreme Audit Institution, I believe, began operating in 1972. And thanks to Sheila, when I get a sense that our public purse has never been audited like it should be since political independence in 1981, ever. So when you go and you look on the Auditor General report and you say loans on the books from the 60s and the colonial rule, then you know these are just gimmicks. Like, really it is. So first, before they had JPAC, it was that they couldn't get quorum. Yes, they have one figurehead of the opposition, but under JPAC, the majority of the current administration. Now they have JPAC, which there are 6 and 1.5 dozen and next. This is my position. So for example, you have one NGO senator where, from my lived experience, when you look on when they proposed the port development, the environmental NGOs had nothing to say. So for me, failure of the people, credibility gone. Then you have the union senator, who's that union sent him there. For me, loss of credibility, because when the workers of this country needed unions, especially those who are not part of unions, to hold the labor ministry accountable based on the severance, which there's no end date to it, failure again. So now, and then you have the Chamber of Commerce. Now, in our capitalist system, there's no way I want to expect, even though you represent the business sector, for look out for the interests of people, because capitalism don't look out for the interests of people. Capitalism just look out for bottom dollar money. So now you have Lee Marchand, the chairperson, right? You have Godwin Halak, that the area representative of Queen Square. You have you, Kevin Herrera, Chamber of Commerce Senator. Glenfield Denison, Union Senator. General Chenona, NGO Senator. Again, we don't have no lived experience of these particular individuals representing the genuine interests of people. So even though we're the majority, and like you've done establish, even before there was a JPAC, this body has never done its work. Why the hell would we have any credibility now? We don't have no evidence that we could trust to know. And to me, there's no way one individual will say, okay, I don't want a person of integrity. One get mixed up in a group like this, and the group not function, so that it reflects on us as individuals. But if I find myself in that position, why me I come out and say, listen, this group are not real, they're not authentic. My individual credibility not going that road because I associated with JPAC or a People's Constitutional Committee. That will flee. That will let them would flee. One catch. Where you go, Mose? That will let them would. Where you go?
I think you lay down with dog, you catch your fleas. That's just.
So brother, talk to me upon the real. Yeah. Like how you come across very credible when you're upon a talk show, knowledgeable for sure. But there's no way for me you can have credibility with a group like this because I don't do the work. I will not come out and say, listen, this thing now a circus, it's not real. So make I separate myself from it and maintain my integrity. Talk to me, brother.
All right, thanks.
Good point. Good points, Amy. I certainly appreciate your candid feedback. I would only state that, and speaking from the standpoint of the social partners, that I've never worked with a group who I believe are more genuine than the NGO senator, the business senator, the union senator, and the church senators over the time when I've been working in the Senate. Now I see. I mean, and I work directly with these people. I have never seen a more dedicated set of individuals who, even to the extent where they would need to go against their organization, would stand up for what is right. And I've seen that with the unions, I've seen that with the NGO senator, I've seen that with the church senators, in terms of people standing up. I know that sometimes when we work in the system, sometimes things are not going as fast as we think it should. But that's just the way government works. I mean, and in the private sector, we work completely different. I mean, you see something and just get it done. Government is a slow grind. And I think that slow grind, even though it's frustrating, is useful to the it could be useful in terms that you don't make hasty decisions, that things should be ventilated very well with the public before decisions are made.
Quem, good morning, WB.
Madam Boss, good morning, Tom.
Good morning.
I will make it very short. Madam Boss, accountability, transparency, competency, for some reason, eludes everybody who go into politics. They use those words when they want to get in, and apparently when they reach in at the house, their words just disappear from around it. Now, my thing this morning, brother, was I got two things. Didn't we send the minister, the substantive minister, and I think the military man all went to a prestigious, what they call, Sandhurst or Bradhurst or Sawhurst University.
Sandhurst.
Remember that it's top, and it's supposed to be bring up people with integrity, morals, and decency. And them guys now, right, you know what's sad? What's really sad? I talk to a lot of media. As a matter of fact, yesterday I dropped 3 billion at home. And I asked her, let me ask you one question. How do you feel knowing that you are suffering at the bush for the years? And when you look up the top them by the full them mouth, while you the hunger in the bush? You understand me? Now, my question to Mr. Herrera is this. Mr. Herrera, didn't we raise the salary of ministers so that they have a better salary. Now, you imagine them by the make 10 kind of money. And on the side, they're gluttonous. They're like they're like one bottomless pit. You understand me? I mean, why we raising salary? You understand me? No, it's unfair to we the believers, and I want to tell you this, brother boy. Like what Yaya said, not want to come out of this. Because we don't want nothing to come out of this. We as a Belizean people have two sides. We have the side where they paint the finger and the side where they paint the finger pad. And them people love them people. Especially if you're paying the election day, they want to worship the ground you walk on. And they will see no wrong way of it. You understand me?
All right,
so, that's it, brother boys. I left you with that. I want to be salary.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Listen, increasing salaries doesn't do anything in terms of people's attitudes. You know, if someone is dishonest, I mean, it doesn't matter. Look at the issues that the U.S. is facing with their executive right now. I mean, you're talking about billionaires becoming multi-billionaires while in office. You know what I mean? Is that having more money does not really stop a person's desire to want more.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think that what we have to do in these systems is just make sure that we hold people accountable and make things transparent. Whatever we do, government's finances, government's behavior, the actions, once you are doing business with government, everything should be out there for the public scrutiny. Doesn't matter what it is. If you want to do business with government, if you want to have a contract with government, you should understand that everything should be out there for the public to scrutinize. And I think that a lot of what has taken place is these transactions find a way of going around the contractor general, going around approvals in the Ministry of Finance, so that they can go through without this type of scrutiny.
I am a strong believer that just looking at the human nature, that I don't care what system you have, human nature falls way short of 100%. I don't care. And because of that, it requires an activated and a conscious environment of human beings to it's like we sharpen the machete in every aspect. And so if I'm looking around and I have my concerns about how well JPAC is functioning, how the Integrity Commission is functioning, or all the different how the Auditor General Department is, or how internal auditors are working, but if they're operating in an environment where people are activated, are fully engaged and conscious, you are made better. So even if you don't want, and I don't think this, but even if you are a lightweight senator, even if you just did it because of a position of props, and we human beings, we also like that too. As a talk show host, if I come and start say simple things, I operate with a phone and people want to call me out immediately, right? If I come on this morning and say, I don't have no problem with nobody to buy vegetables for their own family, I deal with it, I good with that. Where people want to do that, immediately hold me to that. Say, boy, we listened to you for all these years, and sure, that you come with, like, immediate. That is the kind of immediacy we need to have. If we say this not work or that part not work, it's like it doesn't work because you could change the system, change the laws and whatnot, but a big part of it is that we have to tighten it up.
I call it the automatic triggers.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, there should be an automatic mechanism that gets into these things. Shouldn't have to wait for the Prime Minister to ask for a review or an investigation or some other person. It should be automatic. Something is spotted, there's a whole mechanism that is triggered because of that.
Yeah. So I don't believe in a I don't know how big believer in a human nature. Not that we are not. We got a lot of good people do good things all the time.
You can't depend on.
But it's that I know probably want to bet your money.
Yeah.
And so I want to know, okay, so this is what you're supposed to do. And I still feel it very inadequate. Again, I feel like I would not take up one position in the Integrity Commission unless two things happen. One, the majority is not enjoyed by the government, or the chair is controlled or chosen by the government. And two, that I would never become a member of the Integrity Commission unless the budget is set to make sure that I can hire the people to make us function, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm not indicting or criminalizing the people who have been a part of it, but I am saying to them, you've gone there, but if you just sit there and accept the status quo, then you are a part of the problem as well.
And you know, Moses, some of these areas still really have to do a better job. Like, for example, I've been involved in reforms for a long time. And I remember one of the reforms we did was the priority call on the budget. Key oversight committees.
Priority
calls on the budget. And so the key oversight bodies, like the Integrity Commission, Auditor General.
Go ahead. Second caller.
Auditor General should have a first call on the budget, meaning that whatever they are required should be treated with priority. You know, those are things that I would hope that, you know, whoever is leading these bodies should say, hey, I didn't get my budget, I needed so much more to get it done. You know what I mean? And so I'm saying that for this to work, I think everybody has to do their job.
WUB, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. I tried to get through to the show.
You're on the show.
Okay, sorry. Because I hear another voice. All right, I am sorry I'm calling in late. I just switched channels and saw that you guys are tackling this very important issue publicly, because the media needs to play a bigger role in this matter. Yes, good morning.
Yes, sir.
We're hearing you, sir.
Listen to me through the phone. I think it's Dickie.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are hearing you. Just listen to us in the phone, because if you listen to us on your device, there's going to be a delay.
Okay, I take that off.
Okay.
I am, first of all, congratulations for raising this very, very serious national issue. And also I want to pay my big respects to the senator, who has a very important role to play in this matter. I think in terms of solutions, I think we have to start have a discussion as to how we can.
Hello?
Yeah, I listen on the phone. I don't got on the TV.
Yes, go ahead. You said you...
All right. Yeah. All right. I was saying that we need to learn from what has happened, what is actually happening, to look for solutions, because this is a matter that affects everybody in the country. So I take the point that you made just now, Mose, that we cannot invest too much in human nature, in the persons themselves who are to be engaged in the process, but rather that we have in place a system as strong and as effective as we can make. The British government that controlled us for many, many years used to control literally scores upon scores of other countries. They took over a big nation like India when it had 700 million people. They had many countries in Africa, a lot of countries in the Caribbean and so forth. Their system is based on that the natives in those countries are going to steal and pilfer the resources which belong to their king, belong to their country. And so they were very, very strict with their system. We still have their system. The system basically is fairly good, but Belize has outgrown a number of those systems because Once upon a time, each government department and ministry have a big ledger book called the vote control, and the officers, they make out a voucher, and anybody could go and say the amount of vouchers that's made in a week, what it was for, to whom, and so on. We now have a budget of over $1.5 billion. And every day, every government department and ministry is sending through the computer system instructions to the Treasury, to the Accountant General's department. Pay this, pay that, pay this one, pay that one, all day, all week, every month, every month. The system is overwhelmed by the new technology that we are utilizing. There is no checks and balancing going on. Somebody made mention that under the system, the permanent secretary, who is now designated chief executive officer, is the boss. That's the head of a government ministry and all the departments under that ministry. Under that person, in terms of the money and the accounting and the control, is a finance officer. There is a thick book with 103 pages that lays out what a finance officer is to do in every respect, to guard the money, the vehicles, the building, etc. Now what has happened is there has to be, we go back to a system where ministers have no say and no control over the expenditure of government funds. They do that in cabinet and they do that in parliament. We will spend so much on a bridge, we will spend so much on a port, we will spend so much on this road, we will spend this here, this there. That is where their authority ends. Once the money is approved by the parliament, it's the CEO and the finance officer, the accountants and the clerks and the treasury and the audits who take over. We have blurred the lines between the political directorate and the senior officers in the public service, because the senior officers in the public service, the CEO, are no longer career public officers. They have no loyalty to the public service. They get their jobs from their best friend in politics. Most of the ministers, they're actually bringing the ace-dos, the campaign people to be CEO. So we have destroyed the firewall between the politician and the public service. And as you have rightly said, we can't talk about no human nature and so, because you have to put in place, listen, then you thief money at banking, then you swindle money at credit union, then you swindle all over the place, because we have seen American television for decades, and we want to live large, we want to drink champagne, but with salary can only handle soft drink. So the problem starts at the very top. There is no accountability, there is no checks and balances, nobody looking over nobody's shoulders. Instructions are flying here, there, and everywhere, every day, to spend $1.5 billion. We're not ready for that. We're not ready for that. We need a new system. We need to put in place a system in which we all say, if there's a loophole, persons will take advantage. If there's an opportunity to steal, to forge, to embezzle, human beings will do it. That is the nature of organizations. And so we have, let me just say this. When the audit is over, Mose and Senator Herrera, we will hear what we already know. The public service fell down. The moment you see more than 5 or 6 under 10,000, you know something is going wrong. But they're the ones who actually did it. They're not the ones complaining about it. So we have to start with what the senator is saying. But every government department, every ministry is to be assigned a finance officer who answerable not to their CEO or the minister, they answerable to the Ministry of Finance and to Parliament. The Auditor General is not appointed by the government, you know. She is appointed by the Parliament. There's a reason for that. So we have to review the system, because the public service is no longer able or capable to serve this independent country that we have. No rules and regulations, nobody checking nothing. We need to start with a review of the public service that we now have with the purpose of bringing into being a modern, effective system. When the government changes, it will change, and the next coup get in, they want to say the same thing. Now, for any time to eat, they are bringing all the campaign people, and the beat goes on. So we need to tackle the system in place. And because of the technology, as both of you already agree, everything has to be transparent. You want to know how much we spent on the police department last year, you can go and look it up and say, my God, we are spending $70 million on the police department, and we know they get bang for the bucks. We're talking about soldiers going under all kind of conditions. You know, I'm going to pose a question. Ask yourself, we really need our army? But it costs more than $50 million a year. We really need an army. Then who is going to fight? We could have a short, maybe 300, 400 professional army, and the rest are volunteers. My two brothers sitting there in the studio, let me say this. I saw an advertisement. The government is calling for firemen, people who will come and fight a fire. You are telling me that in Belize City, we can't find 10 or 12 men or women who would gladly volunteer the way their grandfathers and grandmothers used to volunteer to fight fire. We can't even bring one person from each of the 10 constituencies who would want to say, I will answer a call. So we really need to look at this whole thing with a new view. The government public service not working.
Let me ask you this.
Guys have a good day.
Let me ask you this, Dickie, and before I kind of jump in before Senator Harrier, but I just, because of your call, I don't want to miss the opportunity. So when you were in my shoes, when you were a talk show host on Wednesday nights here on Creme Radio, you know, Trailblazer, and I'm in a while out. I'm a Madaraka, but yeah, we listen to the show. And I can recall you were one of those voices in those days, early 90s, talking about we need an ombudsman. Is that right? You did. My recollection is that the first time I heard about an ombudsman and heard what the ombudsman could do, you never one of the persons where they advocate for that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And at the time in those conversations, there was a sense that this is, other countries have it, and if we have it, it can be an office, it can be an individual that can be very pivotal in our fight against corruption. And I bring it up because I think it took a very long time before we had this moment when that office lived up to what you and those who were seeing this and seeing what it could do, we see where it acted with a sense of sovereignty and duty. And I felt, okay, this is a great moment. But then, as expected, the laws of physics, once you counter the will of the political directorate, there are consequences. And I feel that the public, we did not take that opportunity to stand up to defend an agent that represented us at that particular moment, represented our interests. And I say all of that to say that all that we do and all the changes we make and all the conversations about what needs to be amended and all of that, that you cannot get around the fact that we as a people have one part to play in creating the culture of accountability where we want, that we sharpen accountability, and that we have to defend the right actions when people do what they're supposed to do. You have any response to that?
Yes, I want to say that how at that time the matter of the ombudsman was one of the important legal and administrative requirements that the nation can do it. But Senator Kevin, from his peculiar advantage, has said on your show, the problem leads back to who appoints who. because they are not going to appoint somebody who is dynamic, who is unafraid, who is going to stand up for what is right. In fact, the current ombudsman is suing the government.
We don't have one.
Because
We
the law says that he should be paid like a judge, and they refuse to pay him like a judge. Now in 2026, I can tell you they have ombudsman for public administration. The public service is so big and such a huge and such an important part of a government, of a country, that there's an ombudsman who anybody can go to, public officers themselves, people in the public can go and say, this is what has happened. Look, I have my land paper, they cancel it without telling me and give my land to somebody else. And all the other ills that will take place among humans. Corruption is not peculiar to Belize. America, the mighty America, Britain, corruption exists because it's part of human nature, so you have to constantly be putting, reviewing, upgrading, strengthening the procedures you have in place. And Mose and Senator, a huge part of our problem as a young country is that we are uninformed about the role of government. We're uninformed about what is happening in our country, what is actually happening. We all know the customs that major hustling to go on. Nothing has been done about it. We all hear the constant complaint about land department, about the police, about politicians, but our people don't have enough information. This is where CREM had come in, but CREM is being overwhelmed because some of the other leaders are spokespersons for the system. They have found a way to get a lot of advertisements and to make things comfortable for them, so they are a difficulty in speaking out against the system. So it's a constant battle. It is part of the democracy. The price of freedom is eternal vigilance. Thank you very much for raising this issue. Don't let it die. We need to look at the bigger picture. That the public service is unable to draw the line between their political masters and their spoken stated duty to uphold the Constitution and the laws and to do right by all of us. That is what they swear to do. Public officers are important employees. People must know this. Got a lot to say, but we leave it there.
All right, thanks. Senator?
I think he made an extremely important point.
And forgive us for going over time, but we are already over time, and we're going to go over time a little bit more. So, Senator.
With respect to the public service now, the permanent secretaries and the CEOs coming in to replace the permanent secretaries, because he's right. I mean, CEOs are political appointments. I mean, they come and go with the minister. And we've seen a constant deterioration of that system over the years. I mean, you look at what's happening right now. I mean, have you seen anybody going on television taking accountability and say, well, that happened under my watch. We should have caught that. Nobody. And it won't happen. Don't expect it. You know, and so you see a complete lack of accountability within the system. And it's, to a large extent, it's no big deal for those people who are within the system. I believe that, and Godwin used to always say this, we need a system to keep good people good. And we cannot look at these systems in any dogmatic form. And we have to make sure that, that we're constantly reviewing it, changing it, updating it, modernizing it, because things are changing. The technologies are changing every day. And he made an extremely critical point in terms of vouchers versus the electronic accounting system right now. Again, you know, I would imagine that there would be major changes to the controls process given a major change like that within the system. You know, and I think that he's right. I mean, he's right that, you know, changes have to take place, that we have to remain vigilant, that we have to continue holding people to account and demanding answers.
I mean, I got to take a break and then we come back. I think I'm behind on a break. So we take a break and we try to get your last statement and then go out on the final break. So let's take that break and come back.
formative years, children develop cognitive skills, social skills, emotional, language, and physical skills that serves as a foundation for lifelong learning, serves as a foundation for future success.
These investments create a nurturing environment that promotes school readiness and ensures that children in Santa Cruz and surrounding communities have access to quality early childhood education in a setting that is safe, welcoming, and developmentally appropriate.
The facility features a spacious classroom area, kitchenette, child-friendly sanitary facilities, dedicated amenities for teachers, and secure storage spaces to support effective teaching and learning.
This facility is a testament to the results achieved when government, development partners, and communities work together towards a shared vision, building a brighter future for the children of Belize.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time, they were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together.
Nando's Wholesale is your market leader in Belize's wholesale industry when it comes to high-quality products at the most reasonable and competitive prices. With over 40 years in the wholesale business, Nando's Wholesale embraces the partnership of the hotel industry in Belize by providing world-renowned brands in wines, seasonings, condiments, and cleaners in industrial sizes, as well as small and large kitchen appliances and equipment. Nando's also takes pride in providing one of the quietest and most durable air conditioning systems in Belize with technical support and spare parts. Nando's Wholesale. Professional, reliable, effective, and prompt. Nando's Wholesale always delivers. Visit us at www.nandos.bz or send an email to nandos@nandos.bz. Or, even better yet, give us a call today at 222-500 or 280-8080 to speak to one of our sales representatives today.
We've got the plumbing and electrical in our store. We've got the paints and the brush and light fixtures. That's for sure. We've got steel, cement, and tiles galore. And so much more. We've got everything in that store. We've got windows and doors just for you. In our store. We've got sheetrock, plywood, and hardwood too. That's for sure. Tools for gardening and the great outdoors. And so much more. We've got everything in that store. We've got variety. Everything. Quality. Everything. Quantity. Everything. And builders hardware variety. Everything. Quality. Everything. Quantity. Everything. And builders hardware. We've got the sinks and the tubs and cabinets. In our store. We've got the nuts and the bolts, so don't forget. And so much more. We've got service with a smile. That's for sure. We've got everything in that store. We've got variety. Everything. Quality. Everything. Quantity. Everything. And builders hardware variety. Everything. And quality. Everything. Quantity. Everything. And builders hardware. For builders who build with a passion and skill, go to builders hardware.
Whether you are a busy person or stuck in traffic or having an adverse or very demanding circumstance, tension builds up, causing you to be stressed out. Stress attacks everyone, anytime, any age. And stress is a killer. Palm City? It's best to be alive than dead. So visit Freetown Drugstore to get options to relieve stress and to relax your mind.
Yes, sir. What can I do for you today?
I'm so stressed out.
Okay, I'm saying I help you right now. When I this daily?
For 10 days, I am good after that, okay?
Okay.
Freetown Drugstore, 28 Freetown Road, where you are better off alive than dead. Freetown Drugstore, telephone 223-2876.
Alright, welcome back to the WUB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibes. A little bit over time. We've had with us since the first break Senator Kevin Herrera, one of the social partners in the Senate and a member of the JPAC, which if you were listening you would hear some of the roles of JPAC. Senator, I give you an opportunity to just give your closing views and statement. And the time just seemed very short to take on some of the things that we hope to take on. And I know that we originally had said we would have a plan B to our conversation because we had not touched on.
Yeah, we didn't even touch on the budget.
We didn't touch on the budget, right?
Yeah, even though that was what I had covered.
Yeah, we hadn't really touched on the budget, but
I guess we'll have to look at a mid-year review or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Mose, thanks as always for giving me the opportunity to, just talk about some of these issues. I think that, looking at the reporting by the media over the past several months, and some of the things that are happening within the system, I think is extremely important. And I'd hope that somehow we will find a mechanism to give the media, continue giving them the leeway to report and the leaks that are coming out without that constant threat of repercussion through litigation. I know that people always have a right to go to the court, but I know that in systems, in democracies, the media is an extremely important part, plays an extremely important role in maintaining our freedoms, maintaining the democracy. And in any type of democracy, people's freedom to and access to information is paramount. That is how you try to keep these systems clean. And so I'm hoping that we could continue looking at that and find ways to ensure that the media maintains that ability to report when it finds things. I'm not talking about slandering people, but responsible reporting at, about things that are happening within the system, because that's the only way, to a large extent, that people know. I know that we spoke about, and you mentioned that we have to have the system that is capturing these. But I also think that the whistleblowing, people ringing the alarm bells when they see things is extremely important. And I think that we should protect that throat, whether we're talking about whistleblower legislation or making sure that the media has relative freedom in terms of reporting these things when they come to their attention.
Can we get something insofar as one, what can we reasonably expect from JPAC and how soon? And you had said you wanted to respond to something that you said.
Yes. Yes. I'm hoping that the chairman will call a meeting soon to perhaps to call in the Auditor General and see exactly what she's investigating, how that investigation is going along. I know Sister Yaya Maureen Coleman mentioned, about, and I sense the cynicism, I sense the frustration with respect to, the JPAC and what's... The thing is with it is we've had those meetings, we've been we've been having hearings, we're pushing it, but a lot of what we're doing is dependent on the public servants doing their work and getting those reports. We can only review what has been submitted. We can't go in there and complete the accounts. That's not our role.
We can't make it up.
No, we just can't. We're not there. We're supposed to review those reports when they come to us. And yes, we've been putting a lot of pressure on them. We've had these public hearings where we're trying to hold them accountable. We've actually got a commitment that within a certain period of time they will be fully caught up. And we're pushing it. Pushing it as hard as we can internally. But yet, there are some limitations. We brought in the financial secretary several times. Again, pressing him and pressuring him in terms of giving them the necessary resources to catch up. I don't know how much further we can go as JPAC given the way it's structured right now.
All right. Unfortunately, sister, I see you're calling, but I am out of time. I got to close off. We got a final break. We want to thank you all for being here with us. As always, we give thanks to the team, Larry G at Creme Radio, up at XTV, Pat Cliff or Glue, and directing this morning, Miss Krista Flowers. We also invite you to come back tomorrow morning, 6:30 for the Tuesday morning edition of the WB Wake Up Belize Morning Vibe. As always, stand strong, stand firm. Thank you very much, Senator, for joining me this morning. For now, we're gone!
El evento de fútbol más grande del mundo por fin llegó y Smart te invita a vivir toda la emoción del mundial. Antes de que empiece cada partido, predice quién se lleva la victoria. Entre más predicciones hagas, más oportunidades acumulas. Suma un punto cuando le aciertes al equipo ganador y si le atinas al marcador exacto, obtienes hasta 4 puntos. La persona con más puntos al terminar el mundial se lleva $2,500 en efectivo. Y eso no es todo. También habrá premios semanales durante toda la competencia. Además, el líder de los cuartos de final se lleva un paquete completo para armar su Watch Party. Participa directamente desde la app de Smart por solo 50 centavos por participación. Las predicciones estarán disponibles del 1 de junio al 18 de julio del 2026. No solo veas el mundial, vívelo con Smart. Smart, bring people together.
As a small business, I started to attend pop-up shops like many other businesses, and we found that our customers wanted to pay by card and not cash. I went to Atlantic Bank, and immediately, without a problem, it's like, yes, you can have a POS system. That POS system we now use in-house, and we can also take it countrywide wherever we are. They were willing to take the time. They were willing to be patient with us as we grew our business, and that, for us, that meant the world.
Atlantic Bank, building the future together. Every great job starts at Brothers Habet with the best supplies and the right support, including free delivery on site, so you can focus on the job. Brothers Habet, working with contractors since 1983.
Amandala is now online. You can now access Amandala's midweek and weekend issues online by logging on to our website at amandala.com.bz/news and joining our membership portal today. There's 5 easy steps to get unlimited access to weekly e-paper, archive publications, and a host of other exclusive contents. Number 1, go to Amandala's website. Number 2, navigate to subscribed areas. Number 3, choose a membership level. Number 4, check out using our secured portal. Number 5, log into the members only section. Telephone numbers 501-280-4703 or 202-4477. Fax us at 501-222-4702, or you could email at amandalapress@yahoo.com or amandalapress@gmail.com. Amandala, all power to the people.
Make every day count up, wasted people. Do your part, play
your road, get where you need to. You can tune in for work or in your vehicle. If you got a problem, pick up the phone. Why wait till the time calling is the show? No matter even if you're at home. Just call in, call in, call in. Double your bed. Wake up.